All right, we are going to get started now, folks. Let me pull up my presentation notes. Okay, so good morning. My name is Mike Demas. I'm the coordinator for the OpExChange for the South Carolina Manufacturing Extension Partnership, SCMEP. I appreciate everyone taking time out of your morning to join us today.
We also have the AI companion.
So we can someone mute your phones, your computers while we're on the presentation. So we have manufacturers from all across South Carolina on the call. Some of you are already involved with the OpExChange and the SMAP, and others, this may be the first time you're connecting with us. So one of the things that we hear at the SMAP from manufacturers is that supply chain challenges are still very real, whether it's finding reliable suppliers, improving visibility into your supply chain, identifying new business opportunities, developing partnerships, or exploring government contracting opportunities. Companies are looking for practical tools and real connections that can help strengthen their business. So that's the purpose of today's session. We're going to hear from two organizations that provide resources specifically designed to help South Carolina manufacturers grow and strengthen their supply chains. The CONNEX platform through the SCMEP and the South Carolina APEX Accelerator program. Then, after hearing about the tools themselves, we're going to hear directly from two OpExChange members about how collaboration, networking, and relationship building through the OpExChange have helped strengthen their own businesses. So, one thing I always like to emphasize about the OpExChange is that it was intended as a peer-to-peer benchmarking group, not about generating sales. Our members attend with the understanding that they are there to learn, collaborate, and openly share ideas without being sold to. However, what naturally happens when manufacturers are collaborating, they're building those trust relationships, those relationships frequently lead to stronger supplier connections, business partnerships, and new opportunities. So today's webinar is really about that intersection, how collaboration, visibility, and connection can help strengthen manufacturing in South Carolina. There will be a few minutes at the end of the hour for some questions that you may have. So, with that, I'd like to get started. I'd first like to introduce Miranda Craig from the SMEP. She's one of our regional vice presidents and works directly with manufacturers across several counties in South Carolina. She spends a tremendous amount of time helping companies identify opportunities, solve problems, and connect with resources that can strengthen their operations and competitiveness. So today, Miranda is going to introduce us to the CONNEX platform. And for those unfamiliar with it, CONNEX is a statewide manufacturing, supply chain, and business matching platform that is available at no cost to South Carolina manufacturers. It helps companies create visibility around their capabilities, certifications, and services while also helping to identify suppliers, sourcing opportunities, and potential business partnerships here within South Carolina. So, at a time when manufacturers are really looking to strengthen local sourcing and reduce supply chain risk, it's an incredibly valuable tool. So, Miranda, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Awesome. Thank you, Mike. Let me pull my screen up here so I can share. So as Mike mentioned, I am a regional vice president with SCMEP. So I cover 10 counties. So I kind of say I have the 77 corridor going up to the Charlotte Metrolina area, and then kind of the upper PD north of I-20. So I work with about 100 manufacturers every year. But what brought me to SCMEP was actually the CONNEX platform. I was brought on in 2023 to launch this platform. Hopefully some of you guys are familiar with it and possibly even members of it. If you're not, we'd love to invite you to be a member of it. So a little bit of background on CONNEX and kind of what this is it's a national database of manufacturers. And the platform was launched actually during COVID as a response to a shortage of PPE and medical supplies. And a private group, a private software development firm out of Utah, wanted to build a way to visibly see and very quickly assess manufacturing capabilities for folks who were in the either medical device, medical equipment, and PPE manufacturing space. So when they built that thing in response to COVID, it was actually adopted right away by the National Association of Manufacturers and by the larger National Institute of Standards Technology SCMEP program at the national level. And so then they began to develop partnerships with the local MEPs to administer the platform for their states. And in South Carolina, we are so blessed with our relationship with the South Carolina Department of Commerce that they have actually paid for the platform for all manufacturers in the state to have statewide access, which is huge. So the Department of Commerce foots the bill for this, so there's no reason not to sign up. It gives you access and visibility into, I think there's over 3,600 manufacturer profiles in the state of South Carolina alone. And then you have the option to upgrade. That's a paid subscription to the platform itself, to the national access of CONNEX. So moving through here, I wanted to share a little bit of information. What's different about CONNEX from some other tools that are out there, especially like if you use ThomasNet online, and maybe some other tools, good old-fashioned Google search. What's neat about CONNEX is everything is customizable in the manufacturer profile. I'll show you that in a moment, but there really is a sophisticated search engine, and it's got some AI kind of behind the scenes, but it allows you to quickly type in keywords and find every single manufacturer who has those keywords on their profile. So from a business development and marketing standpoint, it's a very powerful tool. And what's great about that is, unlike ThomasNet and some other platforms, there are no pay-to-play incentives. Even like with Google Ads, you can pay more for the search engine optimization and you can show up at the top of the list. That doesn't necessarily mean you're the best company or the best fit for that job or that opportunity. With CONNEX, everything is really driven by that profile, and that is built by the manufacturer. There's also a sweep that happens every month for any like blacklisted suppliers. So anybody who's on a government blacklist, or those folks are automatically removed from the platform. There's an exchange center where you can post and respond to business opportunities. There's some different supply chain risk visualization tools. So it really is, again, it's a very powerful tool, and they continue to build it and bolster it and strengthen the way that it works. So wanted to share from a very high level. So far, just ahead of this call, we hopped on to see who is actually on CONNEX in the state. These were the first 100 companies to sign up for the platform. You may recognize your company logo here. But we've got 247 manufacturers that have claimed their profile and are actively using the platform across the state. Now, again, there's 3,600 manufacturer profiles out there that haven't been claimed yet. So chances are, if your company logo isn't on this screen or in the list that I'll show on the next slide, you have a profile on CONNEX, but it's blank. So it's advantageous to get in there, claim your profile, and fill it out. It doesn't cost anything to do that. So in addition, ahead of our call today, I went ahead and pulled a list to see which OpExChange members are on CONNEX and who's not. So I'll leave this up for a second so everybody can kind of eyeball and look for your company. They're listed alphabetically in these columns, but we want to make sure that you are on CONNEX. If you're not, we'd love for you to be, and I'll show you where to go to do that. But only 30% of OpExChange members are taking advantage of this program right now. So we've got definitely the ability and the opportunity to invite you on, let you build that profile out, and start using the tool to connect with other suppliers and possibly some new customers as well. All right, so next thing I want to show you is just how to sign up. So I'm going to exit out of this PowerPoint and pull up, said it was going to. So first of all, from SCMEP's website, if you just come to scmep.org, you can click on CONNEX, and you can even do this right now if you're a superstar while we're going through the webinar together. And once you're on the CONNEX page, you can get some more information. We've also embedded a how-to video here where you can take a virtual tour and see everything within the site, or show it, share that video link with other folks in your company. But all you do is click this Join CONNEX button, and that will bring you to the CONNEX app platform. So let's get started here. I want to show you the search engine. So let's say today I'm looking for somebody who does nickel plating. And let's say I also need them to be ISO certified. I can click search. Now I'm on national access, so I'm going to see everybody in the United States who has nickel plating and ISO capabilities. So you'll see matching data here. So this company, anybody who's got that ISO certification filled out on their profile, they're going to return pretty high on my list. Processes, if they've put nickel plating in as a process, it's going to show me all the matching data first. And that's where it really comes down to having a robust and complete filled out profile. So I got 502 matches on this search nationwide, which is pretty impressive. But I just want to see folks in South Carolina. So we're going to choose South Carolina, click apply there, and we'll see some of these companies. So of course, companies that have claimed their profiles and filled out their information are going to show here at the top. The more information they have on their profile and the more these words are included in different parts of their profile, that's what's going to bring them to the top of the list. So Palmetto Plating, let's take a look at their profile. Kind of show you what the profile looks like from top to bottom. You have the opportunity to include a capability statement, which you can download. So here's all their information, their AS91, their ISO 9000, 14001, all of the plating that they do. The other thing that Mike and I were talking about ahead of this call is, this is a great way to keep an eye on your competitors. If you know who those folks are in the state, check out their profiles, check out their capability statements. Can be a great way to do just some market research as well. Everybody does have to be onboarded to CONNEX by SCMEP, and we do that by verifying your NAICS code. So there is a little back-end process on that part. So when you apply to join CONNEX, we'll get a notification. We'll do that quick investigation to make sure you're a registered manufacturer with a qualifying NAICS code. Then we'll bring you on. Just like to mention that. So they've got their processes listed out here. They've got their certifications. And what's great about this is I can actually view that company's certification. I can download that file and see it and make sure that it's official. So it's pretty nice right in the platform to be able to do that. I can see how many employees they have. And this is my favorite part about CONNEX, because I've been in procurement and in purchasing, and it can be a painful job, especially when you're having to email like an info at or a sales at email all the time. But here are two actual human beings, right, that I can send an email to and say, hey, I saw you on CONNEX. I'm looking for somebody who can do nickel plating. Here's some more information about what I'm looking for. And I can tell Brandon and Stacy exactly what I'm looking for. So that's how the profile works. And again, as a manufacturer, you can include as much information as you want to here. Let's take a look at another one. So let's say I need custom crating. So again, I just want to see South Carolina. And there's all kinds of filters over here. I can look for folks who are, if I have like a diversity goal that I'm trying to hit, there's even a spot on here where I can find women-owned, veteran-owned, hub-zone companies, small disadvantaged businesses. I can find those as well. I can search on the services, on the products, on the materials they work with, whether or not they have the certain certifications that I mentioned. And so as I'm scrolling down and I'm making my list a little bit shorter, I can really narrow my search and find a good match here. So here's some companies that do custom crating. Let's take a look at some of their profiles. Here's one in North Charleston. They've got some photos on here, all of the different industries that they serve. Their capability statement is loaded up. All their processes. They've got an ISPM certification. And then down here at the bottom, all the services that they include here are listed out. And these are preloaded on CONNEX, so you don't have to type all of these things in. It's just selecting, yes, we do that. No, we don't do that. Yes, we do. No, we don't. And that gives you a chance to do that. And then anytime you see this file icon means they've uploaded a photo or a file of what that is. So here's one of their crates. I can actually pull up a photo of their crate and see what that looks like, which is pretty helpful. And then they've got a really robust gallery as well with all the different things that they've done here. So can kind of scroll through, can kind of see what they've got. And then again, I've got 3 different people that I can call and say, hey, I want more information. I saw you on CONNEX. Can you build this type of pallet for me or this type of crate? Excellent. And then I can go back to my list and maybe I look for some other companies here. Let's take a look at the Exchange Center. I'm coming up on time, so I don't want to go over. But this is where you can actually post out and respond to RFPs, RFQs, and RFIs. It's completely free to use. There's a lot of other websites out there that have this type of capability, but again, it's a pay to play, and you may be getting a bunch of notifications of opportunities that aren't a good fit, and you're paying a monthly subscription for it. With CONNEX, it's completely free. So all you have to do is go to needs, and then you can see various organizations. CONNEX Marketplace, as a website, they actually will post jobs for bigger OEMs who post anonymously. I'll tell you, they've got some connections with Siemens, and Northrop Grumman are some of the bigger companies that they post on behalf of. So they have agreements with their purchasing and procurement teams to post and vet suppliers and responses here. So here's something that they're looking for: a modular building, welding the base, walls, roof of all this equipment, painting, building code approvals. So if this is something that's a fit, you can respond directly to Zachary Russell at CONNEX Marketplace to get some more information. Some of these will even have like the actual drawings, so you can go in and see like CAD designs for exactly what they're looking for. There's the large metal enclosure manufacturer again. An ASME pressure vessel. So lots of opportunities, and I'll tell you, sometimes the MEP centers will post on here as well. If we have a supplier reach out to us and say, hey, we're looking for this, we'll tell them to use CONNEX, or we can post on behalf of them in CONNEX. And the last thing that I'll demo just really quickly is the supply chain risk visualization tool. So if you are in supply chain or procurement, this is a way to kind of build supplier scorecards and even see some supply chain risk. So I can build an ecosystem, and this is all just kind of dummy data of fake profiles. But I can go on here and kind of build out my supplier ecosystem, and I can find alternates for certain nodes. So anytime you see this red line means there's a risk on that company, and it'll tell you there's a risk on this relationship. It's a single supplier, so this is the only company that you're getting X, Y, or Z from. You can rate your relationship to that company. You can put how much business you typically do with them, and then you can find alternates. So this is really helpful. So if you're looking for you're in a single or sole source supplier situation, you can use this as a tool to find alternate suppliers who are within a certain geographic radius of the supplier that you're looking at. And then you can get more information. You can add them as a potential to your visualization and kind of see what that looks like. All right, so I'm going to pause here and answer any questions that anybody has. Or Mike, do you want me to wait for questions here or afterwards?
You can do a 5 minutes of questions here.
Okay, I will do 5 minutes of questions, everybody, if you have any.
How long does it take for a company to get set up?
The turnaround time, if you're already in SCMEP system, which if you're an OpExChange member, you are, that's pretty quick. We could turn around and have you approved on CONNEX in a day or two. And then it's just a matter of going in and building out your profile and putting in the information that you want to include. Along with that, you can invite other people to your profile. So you can say, hey, these are the people I want to have access to. You can give them certain permissions of what role they can have. So that's a helpful tool. And then, yeah, you can go behind the scenes and spend as much or as little time as you want building out your profile.
Hey, Miranda.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Hey, Miranda. Just a quick question. You did say that this CONNEX account, you said there is no fee or charge for that. Did I hear that right?
That's correct. So for the statewide access, it is completely free. The Department of Commerce has paid for that for all manufacturers in the state. So it's free to join at the statewide level. If you want to upgrade for nationwide access, I think it's $650 for the year.
Okay, thank you.
And one thing on that, if you're using CONNEX for sourcing and trying to find suppliers, that $650 is, in my opinion, it's worth it, because you could find somebody in North Carolina, Georgia, Tennessee, Florida, somebody nearby who can do what you're looking for if you can't find them in the state of South Carolina exactly. But from a business development standpoint, if you're really using the tool to find potential customers and for sales and marketing, you really don't need to pay the extra $650, because as long as companies in other states have nationwide access, they'll be able to see your profile in South Carolina, regardless of whether you have state or nationwide, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. Is that pricing listed somewhere when we go to log in? Does it tell us?
It's a good question. Yes, right here on our homepage. So South Carolina free statewide access is funded for all South Carolina manufacturers by the Department of Commerce. Nationwide, $6,500 or $65 a month or $650 for the year.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. And again, if you want to join, you can find the CONNEX page on SCMEP's website and then click the Join CONNEX button. And it'll have you build out your profile and then register your company.
And then in the searches, Miranda, it's so even if there's the ones that claim the profiles, then there's all the others that haven't claimed the profiles. So you still can find them, right? You still can find somebody that has that service or that product. It's just you don't have a lot of details about them. But if you're searching for a list of suppliers.
Exactly. Yep. Because what it's going to use in that instance is your NAICS code, which is based on your Duns and Bradstreet profile. So it's going to look at that industry code, and that's really the only data point that it's going to have. So again, you could be found, but you're going to be more likely to be found if you've got that filled out profile.
Right.
So we actually have 3,912 manufacturers with profiles in South Carolina.
All right, cool. Any other questions for Miranda? How do they sign up? So where do they go?
So best way to sign up is going to be to come to SCMEP's website. And then if you click on CONNEX right here at the top, it'll bring you to the CONNEX landing page, and there's a button that says Join CONNEX. And once you click that, you'll be prompted to create a user account. And then once you've created your user account and verified your email, then you can actually register your company.
Okay.
Hey, I have a question. Excuse me. Hi, Miranda. How are you doing today?
Hey there. Good. How are you?
Good. A quick question. How the information is updated in this CONNEX platform? Is each company do that, or you have some sort of connection with each of them to update the information with each of them?
Yeah, so each company will have the ability to update their profile whenever they want to, and they can include as much or as little information as they want. The initial data that was kind of digested in the system was pulled from Duns and Bradstreet, which is a public database of companies.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
All right. So I will, again, this recording will make it available. If you signed up for this, your email, I will send you a link to that recording and then the presentation as well. So I'm going to move on to our next presenter. So we're going to hear from Khadijah Horn, and she's with the South Carolina APEX Accelerator program. And this program it's a great resource for manufacturers and businesses that are interested in government contracting opportunities. And that's whether it's at the federal, state, or local level. The program, again, provides no-cost assistance to help companies better understand the government marketplace, improve their readiness for contracting opportunities, navigate registrations and compliance requirements, and identify opportunities that align with their capabilities. One thing that I like about this program is that it helps makes what can seem sometimes very complicated much more approachable and practical for manufacturers. Today, Khadijah is going to walk us through some of the tools, opportunities, and support resources available and share insights into how manufacturers can position themselves for growth through government contracting opportunities. So Khadijah, thank you for being with us, and I'll hand it over to you.
Thank you very much, Mike, and good morning, everyone. Again, I'm Khadijah Horn with South Carolina APEX, and I'll be reviewing the services that we offer here with you all today. So I'm going to go ahead and present my screen, and you can confirm, Mike, if you're able to view everything as we practiced earlier.
Yes, ma'am, it looks good.
Okay, wonderful. So just reviewing South Carolina APEX and manufacturing growth and leveraging government contracting opportunities. So here, this is our impact and services. As Mike mentioned, here at South Carolina APEX, we offer no-cost guidance to companies that want to pursue government contracts, whether it be state, local, or federal. Also, even if it's in the educational sector, we assist clients here in South Carolina as well as North Carolina. Some of the services that we provide include technical assistance, compliance. We offer a no-cost service called bid matching, and that is exclusive to our client base. We help build relationships through marketing and relationship assistance, as well as training. We offer on-demand as well as virtual and in-person trainings as well. If you'll notice here on the screen, estimated award dollars from September 21 to March 26 of this year for our client base is about $726 million in contract awards. Of that amount, from the Department of Defense, that's about $431 million. Federal agencies, $282 million, and then state and local, around $13 million. I might also like to add that we service over 2,500 clients throughout South and North Carolina as well. Again, this is just kind of a quick overview of what I mentioned, no-cost services, networking, bridging the gap so that you will have a better understanding of how to navigate your pursuit of doing business with the government. So market research. Market research in government contracting helps businesses understand what agencies are buying, who is already supplying those products or services, and where new opportunities exist. This slide is going to show you in fiscal year 2026 to current, the following agencies that have spent funds on manufacturing related efforts and projects. If you'll notice, we have the Department of Defense, the Department of Veterans Affairs, the Department of Health and Human Services, the General Services Administration, NASA, the Department of Homeland Security, the Department of Agriculture, and the Department of Justice, to name a few. Those dollars for the entire United States range from the millions and billions up to 58.38 for the United States through the Department of Defense, for example. And then with the Department of Defense funds on manufacturing related efforts just for the state of South Carolina are in the dollar range of $125.95 million. And then you can review that for the other agencies that are outlined here also. All right, so key technology areas from the Department of Defense. Just to kind of go back a little bit, our organization is actually funded by the Department of Defense, the South Carolina Department of Commerce, as well as the University of South Carolina. We're actually housed on the campus of University of South Carolina. There are 6 essential areas in building the defense industrial base. Those 6 areas are applied artificial intelligence, biomanufacturing, contested logistic technologies, quantum and battlefield information dominance, scaled directed energy, and scaled hypersonics. I've also included the NACE codes that would apply to those 6 areas as well. And just to give you a better example of what type of businesses would fall under each area, under applied artificial intelligence, that would be your businesses that are in the software and IT space, cybersecurity firms, or maybe even robotics, just to give you a few examples. For biomanufacturing, you'd look at pharmaceutical manufacturers, medical research labs, or maybe even life science companies. For contested logistic technologies, drone and aircraft manufacturers, engineering firms, other supply chain companies, as well as logistics and transportation companies. Under the 4th bullet, quantum and battlefield information dominance, businesses that would fall in that area would be telecommunication companies, surveillance and sensor technology companies, as well as communication equipment manufacturers. For sealed directed energy, aerospace and missile companies, energy systems, laser technology companies are a few examples that will fall in that area. And then finally, scaled hypersonics, you can find also space technology firms, aviation engineering, advanced material manufacturers are some to name. Outside of that, I wanted to show you all how you can actually locate and find opportunities that may fall under specific NACE codes, or even more importantly, utilizing keywords to locate opportunities that may be available to you. So we use a site called usaspending.gov, and I'm going to go to share that with you right now. Okay, so you should see the usaspending.gov site.
Yes, ma'am.
And on the left side here, this is where the filter options we use are. So I've already entered a keyword under the applied artificial intelligence area. Cybersecurity was one of the options or industries that would apply to that. So I've entered that here as a keyword. I'll select add. I'll scroll down and you can view by fiscal year. So typically, if I'm guiding a client through this system, I'll have them go back and look at a previous year, as well as the current year for what may be coming up or forecasted, or what people may be already working on. And then because we're in South Carolina, we'll select South Carolina as our location. And of course, you'll see you can select other states or territories, but we're going to review South Carolina. And then you'll select submit. And from there, you'll see that just using the keyword cybersecurity, there are about 25 contracts. Under that keyword, you'll have the prime awards listed here. So these are the contract numbers. These are the recipients. You may see some familiar names that are listed here. These are the financial obligations. And then beyond that, you'll also see the award descriptions. And that's where you'll see the keyword cybersecurity listed in a lot of those spaces. In addition to that, and I'm having to scroll up and down a little bit, but it also shows you the recipient's location, their UEI number, if you're also going to look up their small business search profile through sam.gov, and their place of performance. So you see many of these folks are here in South Carolina, since that was the search tool that we used to locate the details. So that is just a quick overview on how you can use usaspending.gov to find opportunities, see who's being awarded, and businesses that you could probably partner or team with, or maybe subcontract with as well, if that is something that you or businesses you work with are interested in doing. All right, so I will go back to our slideshow, and you can let me know if that screen is visible to you again.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so this is our market research for state and local. This list includes state and local agencies that have contracted for manufacturing opportunities. Included in this list, we have the state of South Carolina Division of Procurement. We also have some local offices, which are the County of Lexington, City of Rock Hill. You also see here the South Carolina Department of Corrections Commissary Main Warehouse. South Carolina Department of Corrections alone, also the Department of Transportation, and South Carolina Highway Patrol. From here, we have a site called NASPO Value Point. And with that site, you can actually take a look at opportunities that have been awarded or will be awarded as well. So if you can see the NASPO Value Point site that's listed here, just going to kind of scroll down and you can take a look at the opportunities that are listed, whether it be for automotive parts, body armor, and ballistic resistant products. You have cloud solutions in the IT space, and other things that would apply to you in that manufacturing area as well. So this is another resource and tool that you can use for opportunities that are based in South Carolina. And also it includes non-state participating entities as well. So there may be agencies that are not directly state agencies. However, you have access to both utilizing this site. All right, next, potential pathways or other potential pathways to doing business in government and manufacturing. Cornerstone is a consortium that focuses on expanding and modernizing the defense industrial base through the IVAS program. And with Cornerstone, there are 18 areas that outline under that. They include aircraft, space, shipbuilding, radar and electronic warfare, just to name a few. Again, there are a total of 18. I believe y'all will receive copies of this if you want to take a look at all 18 in detail, as well as how you can become a member of that consortium as well. Beyond that, we have Advanced Technology International Consortiums. This is a nonprofit organization that helps the government, industry, and research organizations work together to solve technology and manufacturing challenges. They work on collaboration programs and funding that connect companies, universities, as well as federal agencies to accelerate innovation, especially in areas like defense, again, advanced manufacturing, workforce development, as well as emerging technologies. Our third option here is the Department of Defense Manufacturing and Innovation Institutes. This connects manufacturers with national innovation institutes that support rapid development and adoption of manufacturing technologies for defense and commercial markets. And then finally, the NASPO Value Point site, which we just reviewed to look at the South Carolina options. Again, that's a search tool to identify active state term contracts, purchasing trends, as well as determining eligibility for participating entities and suppliers. So how can South Carolina APEX provide short-term support? So in short term, things that we can do to assist you will be supporting supplier growth, helping you connect with suppliers and manufacturers through our network, preparing you for government contract readiness. That's assessing your business readiness, helping you get registered in sam.gov for federal opportunities, help you determine what your NACE codes are, socioeconomic certifications. As Miranda mentioned earlier, she kind of overviewed where you can see even in their system, women on small business certification, 8A, as well as veteran-owned certification. So we assist in those areas also. And then as far as compliance requirements, We also offer guidance through the self-assessment for the CMMC certification also. So we assist you in those capacities, as well as marketing your business, strategy development, identifying different trends, targeting opportunities and potential competitors or other partners that you could work with, and then identifying your past performance development as well. So long term, by signing up for our services as a client, we also assist you with bid and proposal support. So if there are opportunities that become available and you are considering pursuing them, we can assist you in preparation of your bids or proposals, and helping you make a decision if you're actually going to pursue it or not. Training support, providing procurement and government training opportunities, and again, relationship building. We have a lot of networking events that we attend. We do outreach in support of you all, so we can share those details with you, as well as connecting you and small business liaisons with different organizations, whether it be other prime contractors, vendors, or even other businesses that you can team up with to do business. How do you become a South Carolina APEX client? So that is very simple. It's 4 steps. You'd visit our website, which is scaccelerator.org, and select sign up now. And then you create your account and enter the business details. You want to make sure you give us as much information as possible in that space. And then you will attend our welcome orientation. We have those every Wednesday. It lasts about 30 minutes. You'll have the opportunity to meet other small businesses that are interested in our services, meet some of our team, and then get a complete overview of services that we offer and how we can be of assistance to you. And you also receive your counselor assignment, usually on the same day. Scheduling, of course, can alter that, but it's never more than about a 24-hour period before you're assigned your counselor. So if you all have any questions for me now, Mike, with your permission, we can move forward to that, or we can wait until the end.
We got 4 minutes. And Keith Dixon. Keith, was that question more for Miranda for searching for a CMMC level certification?
Yes, sir. Yeah. Obviously, as people drop out, I want to know who is, to what level based off the contract requirements.
So his question was for Miranda, and Keith, we'll come back to that in a moment. It's for Deja. Any questions about the APEX Accelerator specifically? You mentioned the CMMC. I know you Keith did, but Deja, how important is that becoming in government contracting?
It's very important, excuse me, because now it is pretty much a requirement if you are going to pursue business with the Department of Defense.
Okay. And are you seeing a growth in DoD activity, particularly with all the activity that's going on in the world?
Yes, the current administration is very focused on manufacturing in those 6 key areas that I mentioned through the Department of Defense. So certainly if you're in the manufacturing space, there are a lot of capital opportunities that are available. There's even a pitch competition that the federal government is hosting now. I believe it's up to $50 million in awards that they're going to be giving out to even participate in that. So certainly the Department of Defense, federal government, and those 6 key areas that I mentioned are areas of opportunity if you're in business.
Great. Other questions for Deja?
Is this service also open for, I guess, service providers, not just manufacturers?
Yes, we service businesses from startups to those all the way up to, like mentioning earlier, your Northrop Grumman's, partnering with them to even help them do business with other business owners as well. So you're not limited to just manufacturers.
Excuse me, Khadija, do you have any seminars or something that we can expand and check in the different opportunities that might be with the things that you do?
Yes. So initially, if you sign up as a client, then you would come to our welcome orientation. That's every Wednesday at 10 a.m. And we'll go over the services that we offer there. And then once you are a client, we also offer different workshops, trainings that are catered to our client base. We often send out surveys so that we can find out what it is you're interested in learning more about so that we can tailor those workshops and trainings to your needs as well.
Can you share the website where you can check more about what you do?
So
Absolutely.
yeah, and I'll share that to Vladimir afterwards for everyone for the whole presentation.
Okay,
Thank you.
and one of our team members here, she also listed it in the chat if you want to look at it there. So thank you for that, Sarah.
All right, so could DG, all right if we move on now?
Yes,
That was great, thank you.
thank you.
So at this point, what I want to do is I want to introduce a couple OpExChange members to speak individually about their experience with the OpExChange. The first is Scott Green, and Scott is with Southern Fabricators, and he's been involved with OpExChange since the very early years of its beginning. It's been in existence for 24 years. I've known him for many of these years, and he's a very dear friend of mine. And Scott has consistently leveraged the OpExChange as not just as a benchmark in operational excellence resource, but also as a networking and relationship building tool. So today he's a chief improvement officer with Southern Fabricators and brings a tremendous amount of operational and leadership experience to the group. He's also serving a third term as an OpExChange board member. So I asked Scott to join us today to share how he's seen firsthand how long-term collaboration and relationship building within manufacturing can create real business value over time. So Scott, I'll let you take it.
All right, so Mike just pretty much made my whole speech. So, but I have been involved with the OpEx for a long time. I think it was about 2020 we rebranded as the OpEx so we could have a more broader focus. One thing that I think is very interesting is so far all the presenters have talked about building relationships. So those different formats help you build relationships. I have a personal belief that all our success and failures is honestly about the relationships we build either personally or professionally. So as a member of the OpEx, it's been, I guess, invaluable to me and my position at Southern Fabricators. So I'll give you some examples of how we were able to go from, a company that didn't have a lot of, direction on certain things to where we're able to leverage that information from the OpEx and basically build things a lot quicker and faster. So one example is when I came to work here, we didn't have a lot of documented policies and procedures for the whole plan. I'm working with a family-owned business. At that point, we were about 150 employees. Now we're getting close to 250. So we're growing. And with that growth, we needed a lot more of a foundation for the company. So I reached out to some OpEx members, and BOMAG actually reached out to me and said, hey, we're willing to share our policies and stuff with you. So maybe you can just, in some cases, change the name and roll them over into your company. So, there's several. Our attendance policy is pretty close to what BOMAG gave us. So without having to start from scratch, we're able to put a solid attendance policy in place. At Aston Johnson, we were growing, so our sales team was growing, so we had to look at how we could compensate our sales team. So we actually did a Teams meeting with Aston Johnson, and they were able to basically talk through how they compensate their sales force. And we were able to use that information to kind of help set up how we're going to compensate our sales force. And then Timken, which is actually down in Union, South Carolina, we've actually developed sort of they're part of our team now. We have used them several times in different site visits to their plant where we actually went through how they actually go through their day as an organization, how it's structured. And we're able to model kind of our focus at our plant to resemble theirs, where we made sure we had good streamlined communication throughout the facility. Their HR manager has actually took our HR group kind of under his wing, and he mentors them constantly. I would guess to say they probably call him at least once a week, and I've actually called him when we've had some, I guess, situations that we weren't exactly clear how we should handle them to protect the company, and he responds immediately and gives us good advice. So those relationships have helped us to go from a small business without a lot of structure to, I think the threshold is 200. So we kind of crossed that threshold of a small business. And now we're functioning more like a bigger organization. And it's been, we couldn't have done it as quickly and as, I guess, successful without the support of the OpEx team. Some of the things, the OpEx does, one of the things I'd like to speak about is the relationship with SCMEP. So you do pay dues to be a part of the OpEx, but basically through the OpEx, you are given free training through SCMEP. I hope I'm getting all that right, Mike. But
Yep. Yeah.
So just an example, I think our dues are close to $1,000. Some of the free training, like I think tomorrow in Greenville, they're doing a SCMEP event. There's not a cost to it because it's free to OpEx, but it looks like a half-day training event costs about $325 a person if you do it without the OpEx. So if you send two people basically to one training session, you've recouped your fees for the OpEx. So it's very cheap. And just imagine if you take advantage of every training opportunity that we offer, then you're actually in the positive in your investment by a huge difference. Some of the things we're doing new now is we're doing kind of, I'll call it leadership forums. We have a plant manager forum where plant managers, and we have a few vice presidents and stuff from other companies that got involved. It's kind of, somebody described it in the meeting as like a safe space where you can talk through with your peers your problems, and you can get advice from people that are in the same situation you're in, and they can help you through things. There's several members of the OpEx that I call regularly and talk through. Maybe I've got some tough decisions I have to make at the company, or they've got some tough decisions they have to make, and we kind of bounce off what we're thinking. It just gives you a perspective to where you're not talking to someone within your organization. So, that to do that, you might feel like they think you're weak or something because you're talking to them about a problem you have. But within the OpEx, you can reach out to your peers. You could reach out to, you got a quality problem, you could reach out to a quality manager and talk through, what they might do. And if they had a big problem with a customer or quality issue. So it gives you that, I'll say it again, safe space to where you can benchmark, get advice, get feedback from your peers, or even, you could reach out to someone that's in a, even a VP position or something. We actually, Ron is the VP at Aston Johnson, and he's the one actually did the benchmarking with us for the compensation. So the members of OpEx are committed to helping each other. Most people don't take advantage of that. The one-on-one stuff, not a lot of companies are reaching out to members and asking for those one-on-one site visits and things like that. So it's a huge thing that you can do as a part of the OpEx. And if you're a small business, you're really missing out on a huge opportunity to help your company get stronger, help it grow, and even grow your business. That's all I've got, Mike.
That's great. Thanks so much, Scott. So we'll have hopefully some time for questions at the moment. Taylor, So Taylor Fountain. Taylor is she's from Industrial Motor Service, and she's been an OpExChange member for almost 3 years, and she's quickly become one of the most engaged and collaborative participants in the network. She's frequently in the top 10 for participation and in the plant visits and the workshops, and she's always gives good insights and observations during the plant visits. So I also know that Industrial Motor Service has increased their company's visibility and relationships through the OpExChange network. So I thought it'd be good to hear from a new member and to get Taylor's perspective on the OpExChange. So Taylor, you want to tell us about your experience?
Hi, so I'm Taylor. I'm the Chief Operating Officer of Industrial Motor Service. So I will start out by saying we are not a manufacturer, we're a remanufacturer. But what that means is all of our customer base is the peers in the network of OpExChange. So some of my customers like Timken and Sealed Air, AFL, all of those are people that are members of OpExChange. So I will say that from the beginning, it was SCMEP that got me plugged in. So I can't speak without one group without talking about all of them because networking is so huge. SCMEP actually got me in their Women's Accelerator program. And in that program, we talked about networking. And most of the younger generation thought LinkedIn was for getting a job. And I was like, y'all are missing the whole point. Once I started meeting with SCMEP, they got me in contact with Mike, which I learned about OpExChange. And I'm from a small business. We have about 25 employees. So one thing that I found myself asking all the time was, how do I stop being the smartest person in the room? And that was the hardest thing because when you're at a shop in a family business, you've seen everything. There's no resources. So what I did was put myself in rooms where I am most definitely not the smartest person. So I was actually sitting in the SCMEP leadership program when I cannot remember who was talking about it, but even that she was so successful. She even said, and I have told my team over and over, the only reason that she was successful was because she went to as many OpExChange events as possible. So I have her name written down somewhere, Mike. I will have to give you that.
I want that.
Yeah, it stuck with me. So one thing I will say is me and Mike talked about the importance of not going into it with a selling mindset. So I have been very, very particular for my team. I hype it up. They know that I come back with a bunch of ideas, and I'm always trying to model that so that my team goes in it with fresh ideas. So I have a requirement that everyone works at our company for a year before they go into any kind of OpExChange events or anything like that, because I want them to know our brand. I want them to know our goals, and they know OpExChange is a learning event first. So I can have a million stories, and this is the first time I have not prepared something. But since we're talking about supply chain, I figured I would talk about my most recent example, which is SEW Eurodrive. So that is a company that I was super excited to see that there was a tour for, because that is a company we have been selling the brand for 20 something years. They have told me repeatedly we need the marks to be a distributor, but for some reason we're not a distributor. Things have to go through, politics and go up the chain. Once we went to this OpExChange event and we were very plugged in and asking a lot of questions because we don't get to see our industry really out there a lot, it started building relationships. Our sales rep was contacting us. We were able to see them and show them that we are invested. And after 20 years of just selling for them, we became one of their only 115 partners across the nation. So in doing that, we have now created a relationship that we already had, but we were able to strengthen that relationship. And I actually went with MXO, which I connect all of them together. MXO also toured Eurodrive again. I was like, I'm going to go again. And the level of excitement from them, they sent me 250 mugs. I have never received 250 coffee mugs from a vendor. We have gotten into programs. I just can't say enough about it because that opportunity would not have came without OpExChange. And then the other part, because I just made some notes while everyone was talking, it's been very good for me because of a recruiting tactic. I do internships with Anderson University and Clemson University. So what I have also told the kids are, if you come and work with us, we have the opportunities of OpExChange and things like that, where we're able to go behind the scenes. And I'm always the one that attends. I will bring someone with me. But they also get those kind of ideas. They get behind the scenes tours. Fujifilm, one of the guys there took me behind the scenes to see his maintenance after the program. And that helped me a lot because all I see is all the failing maintenance plans of my team, of my customers. So everyone, I will say the first thing is everyone is so adamant to help everyone. Every single time you go to a plant tour, you're going to see something that does well and what they do well. So you're not going into it to see failed systems. So for me, I could not see what other people were doing as a small business. So moving into OpExChange let me, a small business, in with the big guys. And those big guys have in turn helped me build power apps, build better maintenance programs, improve my relationship with SEW Eurodrive, which got us a discount. So there is the cost savings. We're finally in the measurable phases of the ROI of OpExChange. So when I came to our owner and I said $1,000 for this, he was like, what in the world? And our owner is also our foreman. So he does not like to get out. He works 60 hours a week because that is our industry. And he has actually attended now 3 OpExChange events with me. And every time, like, he thought Eurodrive, all he's ever wanted to do is see behind the scenes of gearboxes and gear motors being built. So OpExChange gave, and he's been in the industry over 35 years. So he has never seen behind the scenes tour of what we are actually selling every day. And that also gave us more brand awareness. We're more passionate about what we're doing because we're seeing the quality of the parts and stuff like that. So I'm not manufacturing, I'm remanufacturing, and I'm using a manufacturing group. So I think that education and that urge to learn goes to everyone. You're going to run into your customers. You're going to run into people that are doing things that you're doing. You have to go into it. Don't go into it with the sales mindset because we all hate getting bombarded with sales. If you go into it with a relationship building attitude first, we're doing something wrong as OpExChange members if you don't walk away with something, because every single time, there's never been a time. I go to a lot of events. I talk to a lot of people. I get frustrated because I leave and I feel like I wasted my time. I can confidently say I have never wasted my time with any kind of SCMEP events or OpExChange. So if you're not involved and you're not plugged in, my recommendation would do a plant tour first. Those are what I get the most out of. And if you don't believe it, just sign up for one plant tour. Mike's great. I have an assistant that hits as soon as those registrations open. That's how serious we take it. So we'll make a list of everything we want to see. We'll get the newsletter. So we're actively doing stuff with OpExChange constantly, which I can't say for any other organization. So that I could keep going on and on, but I would say supply chain wise, that is one of our biggest wins lately. And as a small motor shop, our competition is Motion and Granger and companies like that. And we're able to go out and get relationships that compete with them just because of OpExChange.
Well, that's great. Thank you so much, Taylor. I'd love to open up for questions, but we're already 2 minutes over. I will record this. If you want to reach out to Taylor or Scott, you can reach out, and I'm sure they'll tell you more. Thank you all for attending this. I'll get it recorded. It should be out there later today, tomorrow morning at the latest. But thank you all for attending, and thank you all for presenting.